Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called Don't Bother Coming In. This happened a long time ago at a company with a plant manager we'll call Richard. Richard was paid production bonuses. And in his infinite wisdom, greed, he told his superiors that we could get out more production than two plants our size could get out reasonably. With the aging equipment he refused to replace or repair, we were getting seriously behind. We now needed to run 24/7 just to stay as behind as we already were. Our handbook stated quite clearly that Sunday work was strictly voluntary. It was to be requested by the supervisor by Thursday at lunch. Needless to say, attendance on Sundays was abysmal at best. Many of us had families and other important things in our life. Richard decided this wouldn't do. He called a plant-wide meeting on one particular Thursday right before lunch. It has come to my attention that many of you are abusing, yes, he actually said that, the Sunday voluntary workday status. So I'm changing this, effective immediately. He didn't have the authority to do that. So if any of you choose not to come in on Sunday, don't bother coming back on Monday. Understand? I asked. Are you serious? Yes. For clarification, we were working two shifts, 12 hours each round the clock at this point. Apparently he had this meeting with the other shift as well. I and about 3 others got together and all decided to give him what he wanted. We didn't come in on Sunday or Monday. By Monday morning, around 7 AM, my phone was blowing up with texts and missed calls. When I finally answered, it was Richard. He asked, "Where the heck are you?" I politely said, "Enjoying my day off, thanks again." "What do you mean a day off? You are supposed to be here." "No, you told us that if we didn't come to work on Sunday, not to come in on Monday." And frankly, I thought that was very nice of you to give an extra day off like that. Richard, realizing he's trapped, changed his tone slightly. "Well, that's not what I meant, and you know it. Now get in here as soon as you can." "Nope, you can't back out now. Next time say what you mean." "Have a nice day. See you tomorrow." Then I hung up and turned off my phone. I had a great day playing games on PC with my wife. There were a few other incidents like this. And the company finally fired Richard. We now have a much better plant manager. It's a great place to work now. The next story is called I have very important work to do. This happened in 2018. My husband and I own a company. We work with companies to provide doctors and nurses for factories and construction, OSHA and first aid training and some other things. One of our major accounts is a power company. We not only provide on-site personnel but also train them on first aid. This particular company is very strict on the health and safety protocols. They require all their crews to have an up-to-date first aid certificate. And they had shared a decent amount of money to equip each of their sites, including the offices, with 2 AEDs. We were also required to provide an adjusted training for their staff and crews. Because of the nature of the job, we trained them in a 3 hours, 2 days schedule. One day was theory, with a written test at the end, and the next day was a practical exam. We were scheduled for a 2-day training with this company. We were told it would be a small class, around 40 people. So I booked myself and our senior trainer. We arrived for the training, set up, got the roll call, and there was when it happened. As I said, this company is very hardcore in their health and safety. Except for the crews, they require every person that has even the slightest chance of visiting a power plant to have a current first aid certificate. This means we trained a lot of suits. As the room is filling up, I noticed John, our senior trainer, talking with a woman I didn't know. The conversation is heated and I approach to see what's happening. "Is everything okay?" "No, it's not." As I was saying to this man, I don't need to take the class. I did first aid in my previous company. And I have very important work to do. As I explained, madam, we follow the company policies about training. But I already know everything. "Madam, your manager booked you for the class. He probably thinks it's more important than anything else." "No, I'm very high in the company. If you don't release me immediately, you may lose your contract." At that point, she looked at us with crossed arms and a smug face. John, being a no-nonsense former trainer for the Army's Medic Corps, was ready to explode. Cue malicious compliance. There was a rule for the training, set by the company. Any personnel that could provide an up-to-date certificate could sign a waiver for the in-person training. But they had to take the test regardless. I quickly provided this as an option for Karen. She wasn't completely happy, but she took it. I explained there were 2 tests, one in writing, one practical. She said fine and to notify her when it was time to take them. So 2.5 hours later, she is sitting to take the written test. Immediately, I can see she is struggling, since most of the questions are tailored for an industrial setting. The test ends and we collect the papers. At a quick glance, I knew she had, at best, passed with a very low grade. Despite her struggling in theory, she just came for the test the next day. In this case, I knew she was going to fail. Along with the normal CPR, we had added an AED training per company rules. And despite being a fairly easy and straightforward machine to use, she had serious trouble. So we pack up and go back to base. We rate the tests, and as expected, she was the only one who failed both spectacularly. From the 39 other people, only one had failed the written test. We sent the results and certificates to the company. Monday morning, just after we opened, I got a call from Chad, the company's COO. He is one of our major contacts because the training was part of his responsibilities. Good morning, I'm calling about the results of the training. Good morning, Chad. I had a feeling you would call. Can you tell me why my assistant COO failed? Is Karen your assistant? Yes. Well, she said she had very important work to do and already had a certificate and she signed the waiver. Of course she did. I could hear the frustration in his voice. Can we arrange a quick training for today? I want you to do it. Let me check. It has to be a late one, otherwise tomorrow at 10. Chad, after some thinking, tomorrow then. See you at the office. The next day rolls up and at 10 sharp I'm at the offices. I'm led to a conference room, glass all around, and told to wait. A few minutes later, Chad and Karen step into the room. She looked chastised. She sat across me while Chad stood. Chad asked for the waiver, which I handed to him. He took a look at it and gave it back. As I explained when you were hired, you had to pass this training. The certificate you gave us was coming up and you came from a different field. Now do the training properly and pass it. It is one of the prerequisites for the job. Karen took the training properly this time and passed. Since then, she has never complained about first day training again. The last story is called Duck. This goes back more than 10 years ago. I got a part-time job working for the county. This was in an urban area in California. My job was to call every non-profit and church organization to ask about their after-school programs for youth. It was dull, but I got paid and the work wasn't hard. I used public transportation and my bike to get to work and often arrived late. One day, the project director called a staff meeting. He introduced Doug, the statistician in the project, and told us that Doug had compiled a spreadsheet of our hours. I braced myself for a bumpy ride. But then, things took a weird turn. The project leader announced that we had not logged enough hours. If he did not use all the money allotted to this project, his budget would be cut next year. I nearly fell out of my chair. Every week after that, I inflated my hours on my timesheet. As the weeks went on, I got bolder. I submitted timesheets saying that I worked 9.5 and 11-hour days, but I was actually working no more than 5. Those days required overtime pay at time and a half. No matter what I submitted, I never got a pushback. It was a great summer. In my off hours, I practiced pottery and got moderately good on the wheel. At the end of the project, I learned that the entire study was to produce results that would support a predetermined outcome. We were supplying data to support the use of funds, not investigating a problem to determine a solution. I learned that county government can be a refugee for the incompetent. Later in life, I learned that private corporations can also be a refugee for incompetence. But my experience working a county job made a big impression on me. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Have a great day. Bye bye.